what we do is we start to pay attention to the body with the spirit of mindfulness, which means we bring a gentle and caring attention to the body. Again, those two wings of mindfulness. We pay attention, very important, but how? Gently, in a caring way. It's a little bit like, again, being with a friend. Actually, you want to pay attention to your friend. If you are spending quality time with a friend, you actually want to be caring and kind to him or her. And that's the power of mindfulness. We turn inwards towards what we're sensing, and then we bring a spirit of, oh, I allow, I let go, no matter how pleasant or unpleasant the sensations are. And we'll speak a little bit about that later today, about what we can do when pain comes up, because there's going to be pain coming up at some point in any case, just like in life, right? We cannot just be happy and, rainbows and unicorns till we die, basically. There's going to be some stuff coming up. And there's this analogy that one of my teachers, Mark Coleman, often used to speak about this mindfulness of the body. Is you think about it as if it was rain or fog coming into the soil, into the ground. So your awareness is gently coming, into your body, just very gently. It's tapping on your skin, and then it's entering the body, just like the rain when it rains into the ground, just gently. But it's there and it's nourishing. Traditionally, there are a lot of different ways we can pay attention to the body. So we can pay attention to the breathing, which we'll do today. You can do mindfulness of the body with the posture, really being aware of which posture you are in. So if you're standing, you really know you're standing. If you're sitting, you really know you're sitting. And then activities. When you're walking, when you're driving, cooking, eating, you can also really pay attention to what's happening in the body. And then all kinds of physical characteristics, the elements in the body, the different parts of the body. We're not gonna go too deep into that, but I just wanted you to know that there's so many different ways you can work with the body. And it can be really complicated, but mostly it can be really, really simple. Not easy, but simple. And there's this quote from the Vietnamese Zen monk Thich Nhat Hanh, who passed away recently, who says, mindfulness is when you're truly here, mind and body together. You breathe in, and mindfully you bring your mind back to your body, and you're there. And when your mind is there with your body, you're established in the present moment. And then you can recognize the many conditions of happiness that are in you and around you. And happiness just comes naturally. Right? It's beautiful because it really speaks to the simplicity of it, that this body that we have with us all the time can be a doorway into awakening, into being more free and happy in our daily lives. So how do we do it? Again, we just notice. We root in the present moment. We are being with whatever is present right now, whether it's a deep joy or a sorrow, whether it's pleasant, some kind of bliss, or unpleasant sensation with pain coming up. We try to create it and to welcome it. And we don't work in meditation, So often we say, oh, I want to work on it. That's not exactly what we're doing here. We are relaxing into meditation. I know that may sound a little bit crazy for some of you, maybe, who had some challenges meditating, but that's what we're doing. We're trying to relax into the posture, into whatever shape we're taking to meditate. We're resting, actually. We're not, struggling, striving. We really try to be a friend with the body, to become aware of the breath and the movement, just noticing what's happening. And then we describe what's happening. For example, if a strong emotion arises, for example, anger or anxiety, we can notice it coming oh, suddenly, oh, I feel really angry, or suddenly I feel very impatient or restless or bored. And we try to go one layer deeper than that. We try not to just stay with the label, oh, anger or impatience. And this is very important to put a label on it. It is very important. But then we want to go a bit deeper and look into how does that emotion feel in the body. The anger, the fear, the impatience, where is it in the body? Is there pressure? Is there heat? Maybe some tingling, or feeling hollow, or what does it feel like? And we recognize the sensations that are associated with it, and we see that actually those sensations change all the time. It comes and it goes, and when we pay attention to it, we actually sometimes just see it change under our eyes. Suddenly, oh, anger is, oh, now it's turning a little bit more into sadness, and oh, now it's turning into grief. Oh, now it actually, I feel a bit of relief, you know and the last thing I wanted to say about that is that there's often this image of the sun, comparing awareness to the sun, saying that awareness does not differentiate, awareness does not discriminate. It's like the sun. When the sun is shining, the sun is going to shine on a rose, and it's also going to shine on the pile of trash that is next to the rose. Right? The sun is not saying, oh, no, this is trash, I'm not going to shine on trash, I'm just going to stick to the rose. No, it's just shining. And that is what our consciousness, what our awareness does. It just sheds light onto what's happening. And whatever is coming up, it's part of the journey. And now that's a great moment to speak about the what if. What if it's not that easy? So what if there is pain, typically? And first of all, I want to say that there are different kinds of pain. There's different kinds of discomfort, right? There's a little discomfort and there's life-threatening discomfort. But more specifically to meditation, first of all, there's ongoing physical pain. If you know you have a condition that is really, really, really painful on an everyday basis, this is not to be overridden. This is not to say, oh, it's just pain and I'm supposed to stick with it. No, it's about caring for that pain and listening to your body if you know this is something you have. But then there's, this one is very juicy. There's the discomfort due to the posture you're sitting in, right? We're not used to just sit in a very also, dignified way. And especially if you have cross-legged, if you're in a cross-legged posture. And this kind of discomfort is usually not a big deal. And we try to explore it until it's too much, right? So there's always this moment that we try to find where we are really trying to stay with the discomfort, because discomfort is one of the greatest teachers. It doesn't sound very happy to say that pain is one of the greatest teachers, but it truly is. And I guess you've heard about this saying, pain or discomfort is unavoidable, but suffering is optional. What does that mean? It means that pain is going to come up, discomfort is going to come up, but you can choose to study your relationship with the pain and the discomfort so that maybe you are not suffering that much. When pain comes up, you can see, oh, am I, I'm allowing, or am I pushing away, or am I, contracting? Is there drama? Am I resisting? And often we create so much defense around the pain, like a shell, that it's like a second layer of reactivity, what we call in Buddhism the second arrow. So what we resist persists, right? What we push away just gets even bigger. And what's the cure for that? It's to see how impermanent it is, how the pain is coming and shifting and constantly evolving and then going away, and how we can shift our relationship to it. So that's developing patience. And that is, it's part of the practice. And it's really an attitude. How can we be caring and gentle with the body and all parts of us that are not that happy in the moment? If we're feeling numb, contracted, tense, hardened, how can we, soften them with warmth? And to take the example of the friend again, think about one of your best friends is in a bad place for a certain week, and they're really not feeling good, and you're spending time with them. How are you going to be with that friend? You're certainly, if you're a good friend, if you're a decent friend, you're maybe going to try to be there for that friend, right? To care even more for the friend because that friend is suffering. You're not gonna, arrive in the door you're not gonna arrive in front of the house and say, get out of there, get out of your house, and just like change your mood and whatever. You're gonna try to care for that person even more. So that's about the discomfort in the meditation because of the posture. So here we really try to stay with the discomfort as long as it's skillful. What does it mean? It means as long as it helps you to develop patience. So you're really pushing, you're really going against the edge, right? As long as it's helpful in the longer term for you to develop patience, we stay with it. But when it gets too much, that you're completely scattered and you're not able to bring that caring attention, then it's better to move to another part of the body that is not hurting, or to just change position, right? You can change your posture in a very mindful way. Actually, transitions are one of the most mindful things to pay attention to in everyday life. And then the third category is the discomfort that arises in the body, but that is not linked to the posture. For example, a lot of people, when they start meditating and they're not necessarily used to having that practice, they start having pain in the shoulders, the shoulders or the neck. And they don't have that pain usually in the day. They're just moving through the day and they're doing well. And then they sit down to meditate, and suddenly it's like, whoa, they have the weight of the world on their shoulders. And what happens here is that kind of pain, it comes up because we direct our attention to our body. So suddenly we notice the tension that's held in the body. It's not like the pain was never there. It's not like because we're sitting and meditating, then the pain is coming up out of nowhere. It was there, but we didn't notice because we were lost somewhere else, right? So this one is about really trying to relax and be as gentle as possible with the process, and just giving attention to the feelings that come up. For example, the frustration, just noticing the nuances of your emotional relationship with the pain or the discomfort. And the last category of discomfort is emotions, emotional discomfort. And we spoke about it already, right? What do we do with strong emotions arriving? And we try to stay present with this bodily experience. And then just in one note about that, if that's too strong, again, if, for example, there's just so much restlessness and so much agitation that it's really just exacerbated by the practice, it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, then it's more skillful to turn yourself towards something that brings you a little bit of relief, So either switching to, a part of your body that feels pleasant, or suddenly sounds, especially if you're outside, maybe the sounds of the birds, or really trying to divert your attention to resource yourself. That's what we call resourcing. But in the end, it's up to you to choose when do you stay with your attention and when do you choose to move your attention. And this is really a gray area of how much can I stay with the discomfort? How much is skillful? And you get to experiment for yourself. It's different for anybody. for sure, we're trying to push our edge to stay with the discomfort, but not to the point where, it really exacerbates everything. So you get to experience yourself. And the last case of the what if is numbness that I wanted to speak about. What if we don't feel anything? And I want to say that numbness often can be a sign of being stuck in the head, right? If we're always in the head, then sometimes I don't feel anything in my body. And for that, there's nothing but practice of very gently just coming back to the body, and slowly, 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 under your attention, the body will reveal itself and you're going to be able to feel way more. But numbness in the body can also be a sign of trauma. And that's what I want to say, just really being careful with that. If you know you have a history of trauma, whether it's a small or a big trauma, if you notice numbness and you're afraid of going to a specific place, really, it's important to do a lot of resourcing before exploring that. Really building confidence with being, mindful to what's happening, and working with a trauma specialist as well can help a lot. What else did I want to say? Yeah, I think that was it for mindfulness of the body. And so I've basically told you about mindfulness of the body as a practice of embodied awareness, and how it really helps us cultivate inner peace in our day-to-day lives. And this thing we're doing, being friend with the body, using the body as an anchor into the right now, right here, is my invitation to you. If you can come back to the simplest aspect of what's already here and there as often as you can. Right? So often we try to find excitement outwards, or happiness or connection or belonging outside, with places and people and activities, and those are part of life. Great. And there's so much happening inside that we can already tune into.